joining us in this training. What we're going to do today is we are going to focus on how to create an income utilizing YouTube and sell this service to businesses. Now, I say sell the services to businesses, but first of all, you can use the systems and the techniques yourself for your products, your services. But what many people want to do is utilize this as a service that they can market to businesses literally all over the world. You know, there's a lot of statistics about YouTube. Number one, 1.5 billion people are utilizing YouTube on a monthly basis. It's the second most visited search engine in the world. It's the second most visited site in the world. And also, it's also right behind Facebook in the total number of users. And it said that in 2020, many people, in fact, there's a whole generation of people, will not even be utilizing a television anymore. They're going to be getting all their information directly from YouTube. Now, that's an extremely important number for us to understand, and that simply means that video is becoming more and more popular, of course. We see it every day. We see what is happening with it. But the biggest statistic that I've ever read about YouTube is something that I've shared with many people, and that it's 9%. That number, 9%. And what does that mean? That means that 9% of the businesses in the world are actually on YouTube. Again, only 9%. And what that presents to us is a huge opportunity for us to simply show these people how to utilize YouTube in a different way that they've been exposed to. Because let's face it, with YouTube, what most people are used to or think YouTube is all about is viral video. And what do I mean by viral video? It's those funny videos that we watch for entertainment purposes. It's those funny videos that we see of cats chasing a dot around the floor, or a baby biting another baby, or something funny that just kind of entertains us just for that one moment. That's what most people think that YouTube is all about, but there's a whole new world. There's a direct response. Now, I want you to write down that phrase right now before we go any further, because this is a phrase that you need to understand. You see, there's a world called the direct response world. Now, direct response means that our advertising is designed to elicit some sort of action, whether it be a click, a visit, an action of some sort to get a person to go from nothing to actually contacting us or doing something for the business that we are helping at that particular moment. For example, many years ago, I sold vacuum cleaners door to door. It was knocking on a person's door and then trying to sell them a vacuum cleaner that they didn't know that they wanted before. Now, that is direct response, meaning that it was very direct and I was trying to look for a response. The response was, well, purchase this particular machine that you didn't know about literally just 2 hours ago. Now, that's okay. That's great, right? But the fact is, how does direct response affect us as individuals? Well, we see it every single day. How many of you have ever been sold something? Maybe a person knocked on your door. Maybe you met with a person in an office. That was a direct response marketing in some way, shape, or form. So in our case, what we are doing is we're taking this world of direct response and we're introducing it to businesses, and we're showing them a different way to utilize video. So instead of the viral video or the content videos that exist out there, and those are great. You know, for example, I have a YouTube channel, and in my YouTube channel, I only talk about content, meaning I teach people how to market their business. I teach people traffic generation strategies. I teach people different techniques and strategies that they could use in order to help them grow their business in some way, shape, or form. That's content. That's pure content. That is not designed to elicit a response from people. That is designed to really maintain the people that are following me already. Does that make sense? But then this world of direct response has a call to action on it, meaning that what we are doing is we're creating a video that's designed to get a person to take action immediately, without waiting, without having to take time, without having to go through a process. The biggest myth that people have when it comes to marketing is that it takes time. It does not take time. We are not talking about branding as far as a marketing strategy. Branding as far as a marketing strategy will take millions of dollars. We are utilizing a technique that has been used for hundreds upon hundreds of years, and it's called direct response marketing, where we're going to create a video that is designed to get a person to take action at that very moment. And we've all had this happen to us at one way, shape, or form. Maybe it was a video. Maybe it was a person live in front of us. But direct response is something that we are going to introduce to businesses all over the world. And more importantly, because we can create a response for them and a result for them, they are going to be willing to pay us in order to make that happen. Which means that because they didn't know this existed, they're willing to pay someone else to allow them to do it for them. Does that make sense? So what we're doing is we're simply providing a service that businesses already want. They just don't know it or not. But we are going to provide that service for them, and they're going to pay us. Because there's two options in life for anything that you do. And I want you to write this down because it's so important. Because once you understand this, it simplifies your life to the nth degree. And what this is simply this, is that number one, you can do things yourself. Number two, you can have someone else do it for you. That's it. When it comes to life, when it comes to business, when it comes to marketing, there is only two options. Learn to do it yourself or have someone else do it for you. And typically, when you have someone else do it for you, they charge you to make that happen. People know that, we all know that, and businesses actually know that. Because they don't know how to do this, they are more than willing to pay you to do it for them. In other words, they can take the time, months and years, and try to figure it out themselves, or they can simply pay you a set fee and you will do it for them. So let me ask you a question. The question is simply, what would a business pay in order for you to rank them in the top of YouTube and possibly even in the top of Google at the same time? We don't know exactly, but I do have some rough figures. The figures are basically 100 to 200. Now, the currency is whatever currency that you're in right now. If you're in the UK, 100 to 200 pounds. If you're in the US, 100 to 200 dollars. If you're in Australia, it's 100 to 200 Aussie dollars. It's the same number all around the world. That's a very basic number that any business would be more than willing to pay for a single video. Now, that is the minimum. Now, when I say the minimum, I am very conservative in my initial numbers when I start talking about money like this. I know many of my students are actually out there charging multiples of this. In fact, probably the greatest example is I have a student right now charging $3,000 for one video to local businesses. That happens, and people will pay those types of income, but what we're doing is we're actually doing this on a monthly basis, meaning we could do this on a one-time basis, we could do this on a monthly basis, and we're going to talk about the business model a little bit later. But what we're going to do in this training that you're about to actually watch is we're going to focus on two different aspects. Number one is how YouTube works. That's going to be the first step. What happens? How does it work? Why is it important? And then number two, the types of videos that YouTube has. And then number three, we're going to show you how to create those videos, and more importantly, how to rank those videos. You see, what we are learning throughout this training that we're going to spend together is we are learning a skill, one of the most powerful skills that you will ever learn, and that is how to take nothing and make something out of it and then monetize it. If you have that skill, then you are dangerous. You can be dropped anywhere in the world and you will survive without question. You know, a long time ago, like I said, I sold vacuum cleaners door to door. I didn't want to do it. I answered an ad in a newspaper and I went to this interview reluctantly, ultimately went in. This gentleman actually talked me into the idea of selling vacuum cleaners. I ended up doing it, and I was dumb enough to listen, and I was smart enough to follow through and do everything that they said. And it turned out that you could sell a person a vacuum cleaner that was $1,700, $1,900, even $2,000 from zero, meaning that they didn't know you, and you would just show up at their door and they never thought about it that day, and then you would sell them a $1,700 to $2,000 vacuum cleaner in just a couple hours. That's power. That's taking nothing and turning it into something. Well, what I'm going to be teaching you today is the exact same strategy. Is to take nothing and turn it into something, and then how to monetize that and sell it to someone else. And we're going to start off with the very basics with how YouTube works. We're going to make sure that you understand this process. I'm going to show you manually how to do it yourself. And then I'm going to show you how to do it automatically, because we've made some tools. We've made some pieces that will make your life easier, and we can do it a whole lot faster. But if you understand the general concept about how it works and the breakdown about what's important in a video, then you're going to be dangerous and you're going to have a skill that's going to be able to follow you around for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Yes? So without any further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into the actual training, and starting with this first session with explaining to you exactly how YouTube works, and then we're going to move forward from there. Sound good? So again, my name is Armin Morin, and I'll see you in the very next session.